went through the lock that was pumping down at about 8 seconds a foot, and we went down at least 34 feet, but that's just looking at it, and knowing a metric system, it's a little bit long, so we could be a few inches off here and there.
Okay.
This is cool. We have a locks in Seattle when you take, I've run 120-foot crab boats. And
No, I mean this Fahrstand. Fahrstand is das Fahrstand und Steuerhaus.
Going to open it, right?
Yes. Exactly.
How picturesque, it opens up into a castle with some...
I wonder if this is the one we bought.
I wonder if that's our avenue. But we're not there yet. We're not there.
I know.
We got so many
Great. You take the best one. Can you grab the one that okay. I was wondering about that. But yes, and then it won't change anyhow. I think yeah, so this is like did you say that? I know. Oh no, they have the delete. I didn't go here. I would not know.
If you turn around, you can see the wheelhouse going up, folks.
Ticket.
So we get a better view of the river to navigate you safely through the valley. So come down as well. So that is sometimes as high as the ships get in the water. Very steep slopes, which are perfect for cultivation of grapes, especially apricots. You'll see and hear a lot about apricots in the Abbey, Tulln, or the fish boats.
I'm also finding I stand when I'm going up instead of like
Low 250 at low 10, and they said the controller told them to slow to 239.
Can't see. Is this it?
Yes, this is alcohol. Apricot wine. Yes, no. This is apricot sparkling.
Overlooking the heart of the Wachau Valley is the remarkable Gottlieb Abbey. Much of the land you travelled through on your journey from the Danube belongs to the Abbey, a gift from Passau's Bishop Altman long ago. In the centuries since, the natural beauty of the area and the spiritual well-being of the faithful here has been cared for by the monks of Gottlieb.
The monastery is 900 years old. Gottlieb is a very special place with a great history. It is a spiritual place, a place for freedom, a place for peace. It is a place where the people come together and they go away with much power in the heart. Let's have a toast. Welcome Viking guests to Gottlieb Abbey.
Gottlieb is a Benedictine monastery, an order founded by Saint Benedict of Nursia, a 6th century monk who established the Abbey of Monte Cassino on a hilltop southeast of Rome around 529 AD. An astute and critical scholar of religious practices, Saint Benedict clarified the way European monasteries are organized, how monks should live and work, and what the focus of their religious life should be. His thoughts evolved into the book The Rule of Saint Benedict, a guide for balancing prayer, reading and work, ora, lege et labora in Latin. While Gottlieb's Benedictine monks have long engaged with the world, a large part of their time is spent in the community of brothers, behind a door that usually remains closed. But today, we'll enjoy a glimpse of what life looks like behind that door.
Please come in. We'll show you an area of our monastery very few people see.
The day begins at twilight for the monks living at Gottlieb. In an intimate chapel called the Crypt, they recite prayers of praise and resurrection, known as lauds. Discussion and contemplation fill the morning before eventually giving way to the call of midday prayers. Afternoons are also spent in the community of brothers. With dusk come evening prayers known as Vespers. These give thanks for the day and praise God. They take place in the Chorkapelle and the reliquary of founder St. Altman, before the monks close the day in the ancient crypt. But life for the monks of Göttweg extends far beyond the abbey walls. The dense forests and fertile vineyards receive a great deal of attention, while the parish churches under the abbey's care enjoy a full-time commitment.
Göttweg has 40 monks. Half of them live outside, work outside. It is a very important role of our monks to be and to live in the parishes. Some are also working in the school, in the hospitals, and in the prison.
Göttweg cares for over 30 parishes in the area. A monk who spends most of his time outside the abbey walls tends to his congregation and fulfills the tasks of any priest in a small Austrian town, the most important of which is the celebration of Mass every day. In order to fund the work in these parishes and support the abbey itself, Göttweg leases much of its land for economic use. Many of the 13,000 acres of woodlands are devoted to forestry, an important local activity.
It's a responsibility in managing the forest to keep the balance, maintaining the nature and harvesting the products to fund the monastery. It's a great challenge. We want to keep the forest for centuries, such as it was in the past, so it should be in the future.
Göttweg also licenses hunting and fishing in local ponds and streams, including a stretch of the Danube River, to help ensure this treasured land endures the test of time. The Wachau Valley is also known for its wines, and the slopes around Göttweg are no exception.
The wine tradition of our monastery is very old, 900 years old since our foundation. We use the wine for our Mass, the Holy Mass, and the income of the wine helps to support the work of the monks in the community.
On 64 acres, Göttweg's vintner, who leases the land from the abbey, grows Grüner Veltliner, the most popular grape in the Wachau, along with Riesling, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes. The wine is sold in the abbey's shop and in stores throughout Austria, Europe and also America. Another service the abbey provides are 3 to 5 day retreats designed to provide spiritual renewal.
Göttweg ist ein Ort der Begegnung und an diesem Ort
Göttweg is a place of encounter, where those who seek wisdom and calmness can find it by following the rhythm of the monastery. Participants receive guidance on a variety of topics, from purely religious to leadership training, guided by our monks.
Finally, an extensive youth program offers young people in the area or from further away the opportunity to play and learn at Göttweg. Some programs even include overnight stays. The monks offering guidance and insight while the children relax and renew in a safe setting. All of these activities help fund Göttweg, supporting the work of local parish priests, as well as maintaining, modernizing and developing the abbey's priceless buildings. Some of the current projects, such as the new roof, are obvious to visitors, while other recent improvements are almost invisible. A striking example is the magnificent frescoed ceiling of the grand stairwell in the imperial apartments. It was saved from collapse by modern technology, inserted between the ceiling and the roof to provide stability. Viking guests have the exclusive opportunity to take a peek at this innovative solution. Another improvement included Göttweg's beautiful orchard and the part of the complex you're currently in, developed with assistance from Viking Cruises. Here you'll learn about the marill, a small fruit, not unlike an apricot, for which the Wachau is famous. It grows here in abundance, and local residents eat them in many ways. Or, seemingly more often, they drink the brandy, sparkling wines, and tasty juice made from these delicious fruits. That's very nice. This is a remarkable overflowing with spirituality and history. A fascinating icon that somehow managed to keep a foot in the ancient world and the new. Now it's time to begin the next part of your experience. Please proceed outside. Your guides are ready to share with you Gottlieb Abbey.
Place. This is all the time open for the public. We have baby trees here, some, and then we plant them in orchards. It's a region very popular for the apricots, but also a white wine region. So yeah, you can have a look here, take some pictures, and I'll be right back for you, okay?
That would have been nice to have before we did.
They decide just to become things in attention that the forestry provides most of the financial returns essential to maintain the place. Yeah. Besides that, they own also some money from wine sales and James Way. At one certain point, it's connected to the main roads coming from France. So yeah. Well, let's move along. You figure it out in the one there. The church right in the center, everything that is behind the church is the cloister wing, the place where the monks are living. Unfortunately, that's not open for the public. 18th century, more precisely in the year 1752, fire ignited here. She cheered the crowd like this. No, she cheered the crowd like that. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so you have a look at some British aristocrats on the TV or documentaries, they can still cheer like this, right? Yes. So, however, when you guess what you have in the front of your eyes is the largest imperial staircase in Austria, and the second one aside from Europe. The first one is in Würzburg in Germany. Ready to feel imperial? Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's see how it feels, right? This is the basis of the embassy here. We have also seen here represented by these statues on the sides of the wall.
The square is 16 inches long.
I mean, look at them. They are very clean and fresh, and they've never been refurbished. They are still like when they started. Did you notice this beautiful sky blue? Right? You will see it in the church. Why so much blue? Because the color blue is related to the background setting. But we learned, right? We saw in the courtyard there are some missing parts, some adjusted parts. Fell down under Turkish occupation. This place was not conquered by the Turkish people. Yeah, even the famous Napoleon. Yes. We can, okay? You're worried. It's in the middle of the day, I understand. And you don't have much vegetation. Excuse me. In Romanesque style. The presbytery was built during the 15th century in Gothic style. You can still recognize the Gothic style looking at the ceiling. You can see those bolts raising from the walls by reaching the ceiling, converting to a central point, almost symbolizing the prayers leading up to God. As you can see, the style is very strict, very well precise, mathematic, because in a Gothic time, everything should lead up to God. They were building tall buildings, tall towers, tall windows, everything was tall, reaching up to God. Then the construction followed further in 17th, 18th century, followed by this nave in Baroque style. We got used, we learned already what means Baroque style, much more relaxed, but in the same time it's even more opulent. The very last ones, they've been added a stucco marbles with painted marble made in the 19th century. And now you can understand, right? This church was built during the 9th century. Wow. Step by step, slowly in time. My dear guests, I will explain you now the high altar. I will do that from the top down, so everybody can follow me, okay? At the very top of the high altar, you can recognize the patron saint, the Virgin Mary, surrounded by angels. Moving one step lower, left, right, same level, you see two females with little crowns. Those are common saints in Austria. They are Santa Barbara and Santa Catarina. They've been tortured and killed by heathens for their Christian beliefs. Moving one more step lower, left, right, same level, you see two male statues. The one on the left, it's Pope Gregory the Great. He's the one who wrote the book Vita Benedicti, the life of Saint Benedict. He did that in the 6th century. To the right-hand side, we find the founder, Bishop Altman of Passau. Proudly, he's holding like this in his hand the Gottlieb Abbey church. Right in the center, you can see it's placed this big, beautiful, impressive painting. This is revealing Our Lady's Assumption, which was celebrated just on Monday, on 15th of August. We always celebrate Our Lady's Assumption. The lapis lazuli inscription is refers to this painting. To the side of this big painting between the two columns, you see two important and very powerful saints too. The one on the left is St. Peter. Obviously, he holds in his hand the keys to open the doors of the kingdom of heaven. You better be friends with him, right? Yes. And the one on the right with the sword is St. Paul. At the lowest part of the high altar, you can see the gilded tabernacle. It's crowned with the book of 7 seals together with the Lamb of God. Now the story says that if the Lamb of God is opening all the 7 seals, the apocalypse will start. Hopefully it's not today. Just a little hot, right? Well, I wanted to explain also how those turquoise columns have been executed, because I'm sure you noticed they are shining beautifully. It's a metallic shyness that was obtained through the Lüster technique, meaning that they were mixing the paint with powder of silver or with gold. Silver has been used in this case. And if you watch carefully, you can see how those columns are wrapped up in grapevines. And those grapevines, my dear guests, are real ones. They've been picked from the grapevine vineyards and they've been gilded, so they can last long in time. Even here in the church, we learn how old is the tradition of making wine in this region, since Roman times. One more feature, maybe you notice I skip it for a while, because I was explaining to you anyways, is the top painting, where you see Saint Benedict. I left it a little later, because I'm sure what I will tell you next, you will remember. The top painting is very important because, as a matter of fact, it's following the church calendar, so it's changed 6 times per year. It's changed if it's Advent, if it's Christmas, if it's Lent, if it's Easter, if it's Pentecost. If none of this is happening, then some Benedict picture is placed up there. So it will stay like this till Advent time. Below the presbytery, you can see these 2 doors leading down into the crypt. You can visit it on your own. The crypt is a silent place of prayer, was built during the 15th century, so again, offers Gothic evidence. Yeah? A special feature about the crypt is the fact that on the right-hand side, in a side chapel, the founder, Bishop Altman of Passau, is resting since 1094. You can see his grave, and next to it, there's a silver case where we keep inside his relics, partially his bones. Don't get scared, it's something common in Catholic Church or Orthodox Church to have bones, relics of saints, yeah? So you will see his head there, but don't worry, he was not beheaded. Don't get scared, okay? The crypt is also used for services, like weddings and baptism of children. Being an intimate space, actually many families prefer to have services there. Even the monks are praying down there. As a matter of fact, the monks are praying in the church every day, 4 or 5 times per day, no exception, together with the people. Yeah. So just for you to understand that this church is functioning like any other regular church, no exception of services. They do all the prayers. Here in the nave, you notice that the church offers also beautifully these 4 side chapels, 4 on each side, and each and one of them is dedicated to a saint or a holy mystery. For example, on your right, the first is dedicated to the founder, Bishop Altman of Passau. The second to St. Benedict. I'll mention all of them. Yeah? The third on the right is dedicated to the Holy Apostles. The last one to Maria Magdalena. On the left, the first one is dedicated to the Holy Trinity. The second to the Holy Cross. The third to St. Michael. The last one to St. George. Also on the left side, you can notice the pulpit. This pulpit is designed by the same artist who made the altar, Hermann Schmidt. He did that in the 17th century. Again, you see, I think it's a Virgin Mary, right? This time together with the evangelists. And this pulpit was used for quite some time. Was used for certain teachings, prayers, sermons, as well. But its activity was no longer required after 1965, when something happened for the Catholic Church. Anyone knows what happened?
Reformation.
No plague. Another flu, right? Another gripe. Vatican II. We talk about the church events, huh? Vatican II, you remember from this time.
Vatican II.
Vatican II. The Second Vatican Council, after several years of proceedings, in 1965, it's announcing some major changes about how things should be done in the Catholic Church. Among those, it was decided that all the prayers, all the services, the sacraments have to be placed just in front of the altar. So nothing anymore from the side, it becomes more decorative. From that point on, appeared that front table, brownish one. In this case, other churches, they might have different design. It's there already, the sacraments ready for communion. And by doing so, they were approaching more to the people, and the priest could turn and face the people before they were facing just the altar. And very important, the prayers. They don't have to be held anymore, guess in which language? Latin, exactly. Not anymore in Latin, but in every country native language. And there we go. Now we understand also why the books, for so many years, for centuries, they were written in Latin. That was the official language of the Catholic Church. And as a matter of fact, it's still the official language of the Catholic Church, but no longer required for the prayers. Yeah? All through this custom was never given up for good. Even here, the evening vesper is held in Latin. The rest of the services are made in German. So, there you go. Do you think it was a good change?
Yes.
I think so too. I think it was such a big relief for people all over the world to understand the message of Christianity, right, in their own language. It was such a big relief, so much easier. And besides that, if you think back in time, do you think everybody was so good, so educated, and know Latin, write and read and understand? I don't think so. There were not so many possibilities to be educated. So, yeah, it was important for the people to understand what they believed. So that was very important. My dear guests, I want to show you also the organ, which is behind you. So the Gottlieb Abbey organ started to be built in the beginning of the 18th century, finished somewhere in 1704. And the mechanical stop organ was received much later, just at the 900th anniversary of the Abbey. And this organ has 3,200 pipes, 45 registers, and 3 manuals. It really sounds magic when it's played, usually every Sunday Mass, and during weddings if it's required, and of course when we do concerts, because we do that as well. And yeah, hopefully this year Advent concerts will take place, because in the past 2 years with this pandemic situation, it was not possible. We were not opening the doors for the guests during winter time till late in the spring. So hopefully this year it will take place. Hold on, you said you're coming from Passau, right? Okay, so that doesn't impress you much anymore. I mean, come on, you're still one of the biggest disorganized wall. No, you're right. It's still beautiful. I like the angels with the instruments. Did you notice that? It's adding extra joyful, right? It's joy, extra joy. Everything is so joyful there. That's what I believe. Yeah. Okay, my dear guests. Now we can afford to Wahoo Ballet. I got a book on it. That's the best way.
Right here, yes.
Okay, I'm ready to get up.
Very cool.
All right, ready?
Alan and Becky. We don't know where we are. It's Tulln.
Photo bomb.
Thank you, sir, for doing that. Appreciate it much. Thank you.
See one hand, no? Wait.
Oh shit.
Okay. Spread some butter. Okay, next. And to put the filling only one line. But some other chef, they put the filling all over the dough. But it's in our recipe, you can put only one line. And then I show you how to use this linen. It's easy to roll this strudel using this linen. See? Magic, 2 fingers. Of course, find another tray. If you don't like to put some butter, you can use also some alternatives, egg wash. And how long to cook the apple strudel, Marlon? As of now, I don't give you some sample strudel because you can taste this one tomorrow.